Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jarana Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Paramahංsa Parivrajikacharya Asutaras Srimad is Divine Grace. Sri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Ishtapad Paramahංsa Parivrajikacharya Asutaras Srimad is Divine Grace. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Mayapur Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Gangamai Ki Jai. Jamuna Mai Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shrimati Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Brahmanandi Hari Hari Bo. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We're reading first from How Do You Do Things? You read something from Chaitanya Charitamrita first or Bhagavatam? How much do you read? Just one verse or a few verses? Just one verse. Okay, we're in the branches of the Chaitanya tree. Verse number 15? Is that right? Okay. Bodha Shaka Gadadhara Pandita Gosai Tenho Lakshmi Rupa Tanra Samake Hanai. Badasaka means big branch. Gadadhara Pandit Gosai, the descendants or disciplic succession of Gadadhara Pandit. Tenho, Gadadhara Pandit, Lakshmi Rupa, incarnation of the pleasure potency of Lord Krishna. Tandra is, Sama, equal, Keha, anyone, Nahi, there is none. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. Gadadhar Pandit, the fourth branch, is described as an incarnation of the pleasure potency of Sri Krishna. No one therefore can equal him. Purport. In the Gora Ganodesha Deepika, verses 147 to 53, it is stated, the pleasure potency of Sri Krishna, formerly known as Vrindavaneshwari, is now personified in the form of Sri Gadadhar Pandit in the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Do we need to have a translator here or no need? Everyone understands English. Yes? Sri Sarup Damodar Goswami has pointed out that in the shape of Lakshmi, the pleasure potency of Krishna, she was formerly very dear to the Lord as Shamasundar Vallabha. The same Shamasundar Vallabha was present in Lord Chaitanya's pastimes as Gadadhar Pandit. Formerly as Lalita Shaki, she was always devoted to Srimati Radharani. Thus, Gadadhar Pandit is simultaneously an incarnation of Srimati Radharani and Lalita Saki. In the 12th chapter of this part of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is a description of the descendants or disciplic succession of Gadadhar Pandit. And now we'll read from the Srimad Bhagavatam. And what verse are we on today? Please. Does anyone know what the verse is for today? 62. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Is the verse written anywhere? No? Is the verse written anywhere? Or you have books? Okay, good. Ete, these. He, indeed. Abhutita, manifested. Devaha, demigods. Na, not. Eva, at all. Asya, of the Virat Purusha. Utapane, in waking. Ashakan, were able. Punaha, again. Avivishu, they entered. Kani, the apertures of the body. Tam, him. Uttapayitum, to awaken. Kramat, one after another. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. While the demigods and presiding deities of the various senses were thus manifested, they wanted to wake their origin of appearance. But upon failing to do so, they re-entered the body of the Virat Purush, one after another, in order to wake him. Purport. In order to wake the sleeping deity controller within, one has to rechannel the sense activities from concentration on the outside to concentration inside. In the following verses, the sense activities which are required to wake the Virat Purusha will be explained very nicely. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Vanchakalpa Trubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we're reading about the teachings of Lord Kapila Dev, and we know the BBT put out a book called The Son of Devahuti, Lord Kapila Dev. And these are lectures that Srila Prabhupada gave on these chapters in Mumbai. And I think it was 1973 or so. So this is describing Sankhya philosophy, which breaks down everything within Lord Krishna's creation. Bhumir apo nalo vayu kammano buddhir evacha ahankara iti yang me bina prakritir ashtada. He says earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, and intelligence. These comprise my 8 separated material ingredients. Until what time is class? Okay. But then he says, apareyang itasvananyang viriya prakritam avyayam. Beyond these 8 material elements is the superior energy. What is that superior energy? That is the Jivatma, the soul, which is situated in the Tatashta Shakti. Just like yesterday I was in Chennai and we were walking along the Bay of Bengal, And most of the time we were walking along the sand, but sometimes the wave would come in and touch our feet. And so when the wave would come in, that is compared to how the living entity can either be influenced by the material energy, ahamameti, identifying with this body and mind, or aham brahmasmi, identifying with the spiritual energy of the Lord. Now, are all the guests coming here, are they all understanding English, or do they need to have a Tamil? Yes? Everyone understands English? No English. How many know English? Hindi, Tora. Yeah. I'm sorry. I wish I was like Bhakti Vikash Swami or Jaipataka Swami. They can speak these languages. I think we need to, just for our guests, we should have translator. So, majority understand Hindi? Yes? Okay, so who can translate into Hindi? Anyone here? Do we have anyone that understands Hindi? So there's two energies. I'm sorry. Srila Prabhupada actually gave 50 lectures in Hindi. And my godbrother, Amaranam Gauradas, that's about as much Hindi as I know. And my Guru Bhai, Ekanath Prabhu of the Bhaktivedanta Archives, he, with the help of Bhumipati Prabhu, was translating 50 lectures in Hindi into English for the first time after 48 years, and 30 Bengali lectures being translated into English. Ekanath Prabhu just left his body about a week ago. And I was just told that Bhadra Narayan Das Goswami just left his body, GBC. And Ranjit Prabhu, another godbrother, also with the Bhaktivedanta Archives, just left his body. As Srila Prabhupada would say, as sure as death and taxes. These are the two things for sure in life. Death and taxes. So we have to be prepared. That's why Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. We need to hear Srimad Bhagavatam every day. Nasta praye svabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki. If we don't hear the Bhagavatam regularly, then all kinds of rubbish things, Bollywood, Pagal Bollywood, cricket, all kinds of garbage comes. So we have to push out. Just like if you have a glass of milk, if you allow one drop of ink to enter into the glass, it spoils the milk. You have to keep pouring in the milk. So we have to keep Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Vandanam, Archanam, Padasevanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma, Nivedanam. We must practice the 9 processes of bhakti regularly. Torah. Narada Muni, in his teachings, he says, Sarabopadi vinirmuktam tatparatnena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhaktir. Is it uttama or uchate? Uchate. Yeah. So bhakti means giving up these material designations. We're born with this body. We say my nose, my eyes, my ears. We don't say I nose, I eyes, I ear. We make a distinction between the bodily parts and the owner of the body. So we are not the body. We are not Hindus. The term Hindu was made up by the Muslims who lived west of the Sindhu River. And Srila Prabhupada explains that they would pronounce their S like an H, and they would call the people east of the Sindhu River Hindus. But nowhere in the 108 Upanishads, nowhere in the 18 Puranas, nowhere in the Ramayana, nowhere in the Mahabharata do you find the word Hindu. Srila Prabhupada said, we are followers of Varnashram. We are Krishnites. He used the term Krishnites. Vaishnavas. We're worshippers of Vishnu, as you are here in Srirangam. It is my great fortune to be here. I first met the disciples of Srila Prabhupada in 1975 in my hometown of Winnipeg, Manitoba. When I left Canada on February 5th, it was 25 below zero. And I'm coming now to paradise, 30 above zero. Matras parashas tu konteya shitoshna shukadukada agama payino nityas tangs titikshashva bharata. We have to tolerate these different changes in climatic conditions. So coming back to that verse by Narada Muni, these hrishik, these senses, they are controlled and owned by the hrishik Isha, Rishikesha. You know, there's a city in northern India called Rishikesha. I've not been, but that's one of the first cities I heard of in India, because when I was a bacha, or young boy, I was a big fan of a band called the Beatles, and they all went to Rishikesha. So they got me interested when I was 11, 12 years old. Oh, the Beatles went to Rishikesh. I also want to go. And it is from them that I first heard the name of Krishna, because my godbrothers Shama Sundar, Malati, Guru Das, Jamuna Devi, Mukunda, now Maharaj, and Janaki, they made a plan to go to London, meet this very popular group, Beatles, and Shama Sundar's idea was, if we give this very popular band, the Beatles, Krishna, then they will spread the name of Krishna all over the world. And that is how I came to know the name of Krishna, through these pop songs. George Harrison especially. I was just in Tirupati, and Revati Raman Prabhu was commenting how, because of this song, My Sweet Lord, in the beginning they're singing Hallelujah, the choir. But as the song progresses, Oh my Lord, Hare Krishna, really wanna see you. Hare Krishna, really wanna be with you, Krishna, Krishna. So in this way, George Harrison tricked millions of people to chant the Hare Krishna mantra. And I was one that got tricked. I didn't know that I would be joining Prabhupada's mission. Thank you for visiting. Dhanyavad. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Yeah. So in 1975, I met the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, and they invited me to come to the temple, and then they invited me to come to Chicago to meet Srila Prabhupada. So I got in a van and I drove 13 hours south, and I met Srila Prabhupada at O'Hare Airport. The name of the airport was O'Hare Airport. But Prabhupada said we should ask the administrators if they would change the name to O'Hare Krishna Airport. The manager said they would reconsider. Anyway, I was amazed when I met Prabhupada. When he walked into the airport terminal, all the devotees immediately paid dandavats. They were crying, they were smiling and crying at the same time. They were so happy to see Prabhupada. And Prabhupada was very happy to see everyone. He was waving at us and smiling. So the impact, the samskara of meeting His Divine Grace left a big impression on me. I didn't move into the temple right away, but by a few months later, I did. And that's 50 years ago. So I started reading Prabhupada's books, and Prabhupada described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Mayapur Navadvip as Nimai Pandit for 24 years, he accepted the sannyas order in Katwa, and from Katwa, he went to Jagannath Puri. And after arriving in Jagannath Puri, he soon left on his tour of South India to preach Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The chanting of the holy names of the Lord, the Yuga Dharma. Hare Nama, Eva Kevalam, Kalo Nasteva, Gatyaranyata. That in Kali Yuga there is no other means of becoming self-realized other than chanting the holy name. So, after leaving Jagannath Puri, he went to Alalanath, and then he arrived in Kurmashtan, Kurmakshetra. So, I arrived in New Delhi on February 5th with the intention to follow the route of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The son-in-law, Tukaram Prabhu, and the daughter, Bhakti Latika Devidasi, daughter of Uddhava Prabhu, the first preacher in Vishakhapatnam, they made a whole itinerary for me to follow because I wanted to visit as many places of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as possible in 6 weeks. And they booked 9 trains for me. So after arriving in Vishakhapatnam, Uddhava Prabhu took me to Kurmakshetra. There we saw Sri Kurmadev, over 1 million years old, Swayambhu, deity of the Lord. And then the next day we went to Simachalam to see Lakshmi Narasingha. And after 3-4 days there, I left for Rajmundri. Yes, the place where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu empowered Ramananda Roy to speak the highest katha of Madhurya Leela. And there I visited not only our ISKCON temple, but I went to Kuvur to see the beautiful temple of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. And they have a very nice museum, Krishna Conscious Museum of Krishna Leela, which is also found at the ISKCON Rajamundri temple. And everywhere I go, I'm meeting wonderful devotees, very kind, loving devotees. And from there, I went to Vijayawada, Jiyeda Narasingha, Pavaka Narasingha, Pavana Narasingha. And you give him water, and you get 50% back. And they add jaggery to it. And the Panaka, yes. So I had some of that. I would have brought you some, but by now it probably would be like alcohol. And then I went to Nandial to go to Ahobalam. And I went to visit the Nava Narasingha deities. I saw 7. I didn't make it to Ugrastamba. Too much dust. Eyes crying in a jeep like this. And then from there to Tirupati to Chennai, and then I arrived last night from Chennai to the famous Srirangam, and today I hope to go and visit Raghunath, Sri Raghunath. So it's amazing when you read the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Prabhupada is not only telling you the train to take, but the bus to take. He's giving a map to the spiritual world. So I thought, at 71 years of age, if I don't go now, when will I be able to go? Body's getting old. Hare Krishna. Jai Jagannath. Jai Bhagavat. Jai Subhadra Devi. So, we're reading about the Sankhya philosophy, the different elements. The total of all these elements is called pradhana. And time is one of those elements. In the Nectar of Devotion, it says, even if you have millions of dollars, you cannot buy back even 1 second of time. So one of the qualities of a Krishna conscious person is they don't want to waste a minute outside of the service of Krishna. Satatam kirtayanto mam yutantas cha dhridavrataha namasyantas chamang bhaktya nitya yukta upasate. Always chanting my glories. This is our business. And the Lord impregnates the material nature with the jivas. And the jivas take on different forms by the arrangement of Lord Brahma. 8,400,000 species, of which we now have this human form, Atato Brahma Jigyasa. After going through so many millions of species, we finally have one of the rare human forms. And what is the purpose of the human form? It's to inquire, who am I? Why am I here? Why am I suffering? Is there a God? So the Asuras, they want to be in the position of God. But Krishna explains, Bhoktaram yagyatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suridam sarvabhutanam yatvamam shantam rachiti. That those who know him as the supreme enjoyer, everything is meant for Krishna's pleasure. Whatever abilities and talents we have, use that in the service of Krishna, as we were saying earlier. Rishikesha sevanam bhaktir uchate. Our sense of... I remember the first time I went to the temple, as soon as I entered in, I smelled the agrabati that was offered to Krishna. So it was very pleasing to the sense of smell. And then when I went into the temple room and soon the devotees arrived to have kirtan, then the sense of hearing was immediately engaged very nicely in the kirtan. And then the devotees started dancing, and I started dancing with them for the pleasure of Sri Sri Gaur Nitai. So the body was being nicely engaged in Krishna's service. So that is our process of bhakti. It is not like Buddhism, neti. Ours is a positive process of engaging all of our senses. Like Maharaj Ambarish, it's described he used all of his senses in the service of the Lord. He's a great Maharaj, he's a great king, and he's cleaning the temple of the Lord, just like Maharaj Prataparudra. He's sweeping in front of Jagannath's cart. So the senses are like snakes, but when we engage the senses in Krishna's service, then we're protected. So the Virat Rup is being discussed in this purport today. And it says, in order to wake the sleeping deity controller within, I'm not sure who the sleeping deity is, it does not say. One has to rechannel the sense activities from concentration on the outside to concentration on the inside. So the Paramatma is speaking to us 24 hours a day. Sarvasya chaham hridi sanivishto. Sarvasya chaham hridi sanivishto. Matak smritir jnanam apohanam cha. Vedaishya sarver aham eva vedyo vedanta krid vedavid eva chaham. So Krishna is giving us that knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness. Krishna is speaking to us as Paramatma 24/7, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Are we tuned in on the right channel? Are we tuned into the Krishna channel? Are we following what Paramatma is telling us? Well, I was trying to listen to Paramatma, and that's why I'm sitting here with all of you today, because I was thinking, wow, Lord Chaitanya visited 88 tirthas, maybe more, but 88 major ones. So if Lord Chaitanya did that, why I also should not do that? I should try to follow in the footsteps. And one thing I've been thinking is, as I'm going to all these tirthas, and I'm seeing that Lord Chaitanya visited many temples of Lord Shiva. Yata Vaishnavanam Shambhu. How much respect and love Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has for late Lord Chaitanya. I went a few days ago to Pakshi Tirtha. Yes, I can't say that, but you can break it down. Tiru, Ka, Karad, Kundram. And I walked about, I don't know, 200-300 stairs, and I looked at the rest and I thought, can I do that? And my mind was like, no, go back. And like, no, I saved my Krishna's Lakshmi all year to buy a plane ticket to come here, and I'm going to go back? No, you can do it. So fortunately, I had a couple of devotees with me, and they helped me to climb the stairs, to get up and see the Shiva Linga at the very top. I took a video. I'm putting it on Facebook. Every place I go, I'm putting it on Facebook, because devotees are following my tour. They like to see the different places. So I don't know how much in Srirangam they're going to allow me to video. Probably not very much. I'll try to film what I can. But I feel my appreciation for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is increasing as I visit these different places. I mean, I'm doing a train yatra, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did a pada yatra. Can you imagine him walking all the way up Ahobalam to Narasingha Stamba, Ugra Stamba, or Jwala Stamba? It's superhuman. So visiting these holy places is very purifying. But in addition to seeing the form of the Lord, is to meet the Mahatmas, to meet the holy men and women, Vaishnavas, who reside at these places. It actually, Narottam Das Thakur says, if you visit these holy places, you may become confused, because you may see people doing some things which are not according to Shastra. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that wherever a Vaishnav goes, he makes that place into Navadvip or Vrindavan by his association. And that if one even stays in one place and meditates on Govinda, then that's just as good as traveling to the holy places. But I like a good challenge in life. So I'm trying to see 18 holy places in 6 weeks. From here to Madurai, Madurai to Rameshwaram, Rameshwaram to Trivandrum, Trivandrum to Trerur, huh? Guruvaya, I hope I'll have time. And then I go to Arya Vaidya Shala Hospital to recover. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was always finding the ways and means to help people become Krishna conscious, beginning with the Nawab Hussain in Navadvip. The Smarta Brahmins, they were angry at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because he was, because of the Sankirtan movement, he was making approaching Krishna very easy. Kaler dosha nirhe rajan asti eko mahadguna kirtanareva Krishna sya mukta sangha param praje. Although Kali Yuga is an ocean of dosha, of faults, there's one good thing about this age. It is simply by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra that one can not only become purified, liberated, but one can achieve Krishna Prem. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came with 10,000 of his followers and sat down in front of the Chand Kazi's house having philosophical discussion with him. And because of the Kazi's affection for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and because Mahaprabhu discussed with him, then Chand Kazi said we should never obstruct the Harinam Sankirtan movement to this day. And through the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, Jagai and Madai were saved. Mahaprabhu was ready to chop their heads off with the Sudarshan Chakra, but Nityananda Prabhu was begging, please spare them. You've come to deliver all the fallen conditioned souls. By being in the presence of all the Mayavadi sannyasis, Prakashananda Saraswati, just by his golden effulgence, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu melted the hearts of the monists in Benares, Varanasi. With Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu listened. It's 7 days, I think, right? 7 days, non-stop. He did not interrupt him. Krishna has given us 2 ears and only 1 mouth. So we should be listening twice as much as speaking. And then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, you're not saying anything. Don't you understand? And he said, I understand very well Vedanta, but when you speak, it's like the cloud covering the sun. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he became humbled. And he told him to go and meet Ramananda Roy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu only wanted to travel by himself, but Nityananda Prabhu insisted, you must go with at least 1 devotee, Kala Krishna Das. I don't know if it's Chanakya Pandit that says when you travel, I think you should travel with 3. With 4. Yeah.
2, 4, not 3. 3 is not good for.
It's not auspicious? Okay. And I understand why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to travel alone, because when you're alone, you're free. You can go at your own speed. You don't have to wait for this one or that one. I don't recommend for Matajis to travel alone. And so, yes. And I'd like to hear from you, because I know that when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came here, he stayed for 4 months during the rainy season. And that's when he met the Venkata Bhatta, and Gopal Bhatta became his disciple. So how many holy places did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visit when he was in Srirangam? How many?
Actually, how many he had from Jagannath here? He knows that Jagannath was nearby 5-6 temples.
Oh,
Maybe he went.
okay.
Solar time.
Okay. But if you go to Srirangam, you cover a lot. Yeah. Anyway, does anyone have any comments to make about this verse? The Virat Purush, we can perceive, Krishna says, Rasoham apsu konteya. Every time we drink pure water, we can think Krishna is the taste in that pure water. And if someone says, oh Prabhu, you led a very nice kirtan, or you made a very nice sabji, then we can remember Shabdake Purusham Nrishu. Krishna is the ability in man. We don't take credit for our ability, but we give credit to Sri Krishna. At the same time, we say thank you, because Dadati Pratigrinati Goyamakyati Prichati Bhokte Bojayati Chaiva Sadvidam Priti Lakshanam. When someone says something kind to you, then we can thank them, because that's a loving exchange. Offering gifts in charity, receiving gifts, revealing our mind, making inquiries from one another, and what's the other? And offering prasad and receiving that prasad. I think it's getting close to prasad. So does anyone, I'd like to hear any comment from any of you about anything that has been discussed today. Comment, highlight, question, please. Hare Krishna. Good morning. Okay. It was my honor to be with you. Thank you for your sadhu sangha. And Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Good morning. Hare Krishna.